honestly, it's probably the most toxic concept you've ever bought into. We've been conditioned to think that if we don't have a color coded roadmap for the next decade of our existence, we're somehow failing at being alive. But the truth is a little more uncomfortable. Setting goals is usually just a socially acceptable form of self sabotage. It's a prison sentence you create for yourself, wrapped in the aesthetic of manifestation and productivity. Think about it. When you lock yourself into a hyper specific goal, you are essentially making a contract to be miserable until you reach it. You're telling your brain that the current version of you, the one sitting here breathing, experiencing reality right now, is inadequate. You're putting your happiness on layaway, waiting for a future that might not even exist. And the worst part, even if you hit the goal, the satisfaction lasts for maybe a few hours. Then the goalpost moves, the horizon recedes, and you're right back to feeling empty, staring at a new checklist. It's an endless loop, and it's exhausting. We live in this hyper optimized algorithmic hellscape where every single second of our day has to be monetized, tracked, or turned into self improvement currency. You open TikTok and it's a 22-year-old tech bro telling you to wake up at 4:30 a.m., drink liquid chlorophyll, and audit your friendships for maximum ROI. You open Instagram and it's an endless parade of curated aesthetics, people who look like they've never had a chaotic thought in their lives, living in minimalist apartments with perfectly organized Notion dashboards. We've turned our lives into a corporate quarterly review. We treat ourselves like a startup that needs to scale like a product that needs a quarterly growth update. But human beings aren't meant to scale. We aren't corporations. We're weird, fragile, irrational biological accidents. Yet the internet makes us feel like if we aren't constantly striving for the next milestone, the better job, the cleaner diet, the aesthetic apartment, the higher tax bracket, we're rotting. So we download the habit trackers, we buy the journals, we plan out our lives with the precision of a military operation. We try so hard to control the narrative because the alternative is admitting that we have absolutely no control over anything. The world is burning, the economy is a fever dream, and the future feels incredibly fragile. So we micro manage our daily routines because it's the only thing that gives us the illusion of safety. But it's just that, an illusion. We're optimizing ourselves into ghosts. We're so busy preparing for the life we're supposed to live tomorrow that we completely forget how to inhabit the one we're in today. We've developed this bizarre parasocial relationship with a hypothetical, idealized version of ourselves, this future me who has their life together, who exercises every day, who never gets anxious, who is completely unbothered, and we hate our present selves for not being them. A few months ago, I had a bit of a meltdown. I was looking at my calendar, which was packed with all these tiny, neat boxes of things I was supposed to achieve, tasks, milestones, micro goals. And I realized I felt completely hollow. I was hitting my targets, but I wasn't actually there. I was treating my present self like an underpaid, overworked intern, sacrificing my peace today so that some imaginary version of me could feel successful 5 years from now. So I deleted the trackers. I stopped trying to orchestrate the future. And honestly, it felt terrifying. It felt like stepping off a ledge into absolute nothingness. But then something shifted. There is always a massive difference between having a direction and having a goal. A goal is rigid, it's binary. You either achieve it or you fail. It doesn't allow for the plot twists of real life. It doesn't account for the fact that you might change your mind. If you set a goal to be a certain thing by 25 and By 24, you realize you hate that industry. You feel like a failure, but you're not. You just grew. The goal didn't grow with you. Direction, on the other hand, is a fluid. It's a compass, not a map. When you focus on direction, you're just choosing a general orientation. You're saying, I want to move toward creativity, or I want to move toward peace, or I want to move toward connection. It allows you to take detours. It lets you stop and look at the scenery. It acknowledges that the person you are today is allowed to want different things than the person you were 6 months ago. When you abandon the obsession with the destination, the pressure just evaporates. You realize that life isn't a game to be beat. It's not an exam you need to ace. It's just a state of being. Like the things that actually make life worth living, the late night conversations that go on too long, the random hobbies you suck at but love anyway, the quiet mornings where you do absolutely nothing, none of those things fit into a productivity framework. They can't be quantified. They don't look good on a resume, but they're the only things that matter. Maybe the reason we're also obsessed with setting goals is because we're terrified of what happens if we stop. If we stop running, we have to stand still. And if we stand still, we have to face the silence of the room we're sitting in right now. We have to look at our lives without the buffer of one day I will. We use the future as a shield to protect us from the reality of the present. We tell ourselves that we'll finally be happy or calm or fulfilled once we get there. But there is no there. There is only here. And if you can't find a way to exist in the messy, unstructured, imperfect reality of right now, no amount of goal achieving is ever going to save you. So it's like you'll just keep chasing the horizon until you run out of time. So, maybe stop planning. Maybe just let the future happen without your permission. It's going to anyway.